but I'm really excited for you to hear what she's got to say. Y'all, people been getting jobs working with this one right here. And how do I know? Because they've told me. So yeah, it was very important for me to get someone on this show or on this podcast that could tell us the nitty gritty, tell us the truth about what we need to be doing. All right. So we're about to get started here in just a second. Give me like 10 more seconds and we will get started. All right, here we go. I am so very excited to welcome you back to the Coach's Kitchen, where we have real conversations about growth in business, in mindset, and in the parts of our lives that don't always make it to LinkedIn. Because you know what? We do have a life, right? But this right here is where breakthrough is always on the burner. I'm your host, Leslie Nicole, life coach, motivational speaker, and your favorite soul chef. This is where ambitious women like you come to unpack what's really simmering beneath the surface, from purpose to power moves, healing to high stakes leadership. Because y'all, it's not fast food healing. This is where we do the work that sticks. Are y'all ready to get cooking? So today I'm joined by Kristen Lampkin. Kristen, where are you at, girl? Where are you at? I know you're here. There she is. Hey!
Hello, everyone.
I'm so excited to have you here. I've been following you for years, way before you even knew who I was.
No,
But
I know who you are. You just
oh,
didn't know I
oh,
knew who you
I
were.
okay,
Okay.
okay, okay, okay. But y'all, Kristen Lampkin, she is the HR guru. I mean, that is the name of her business, but really, she is the HR guru. She is a strategist, entrepreneur, CEO, and founder of the HR Guru. She's also a consultant, which is your new position for
Yes.
the global and idea and talent strategy at, is it Elanco or Elanco? How do you pronounce that?
Elanco. Yes, Elanco.
Elanco.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Fantastic. But we're going to be having a real conversation about career evolution, leadership, pivots, building success that actually aligns with who you are. We're talking visibility, strategy, and what it takes to stay grounded while we're still climbing and reaching for higher heights. So, Kristen, welcome to the Coach's Kitchen. I'm so happy to have you here tonight.
I'm honored to be here. So thank you, Leslie. And I love what you're doing.
Oh,
You're
thank
making
you.
impact. You're giving women voices at the table that normally they may not have. And so I'm excited to bring my expertise and share some of my wisdom. And just as I'm reminding the audience, I'm reminding myself as well. So,
Fantastic.
yes.
Well, our audience, speaking of audience, if you have any questions, go ahead and put those in the chat, whether you're on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube. I will see them and I will certainly answer those questions. So, or I should say, ask those questions. But, Kristen, let's start from the beginning. Walk us through your career journey. What moment shaped how you show up in HR today? And when did you realize that this was a space where you could build something of your own?
Ooh, that's a question. That's a
It's
lengthy question.
fun. It's
I
fun.
know. So let me think about that. Um, I would say a milestone in my career that made me realize that it was deeper than HR. I'll say that. Like it was
Mhm,
about the people. So I
mhm,
tell people that HR found me, but I'm
mm,
so glad that it found me. So as a child growing up, my aunt, actually my mom's sister, she worked in HR my whole
mhm.
life for at the time, which was GTE, which became Verizon. So that lets you know way back in the
GTE.
day.
I remember that though.
Listen, that's what I said way back in the day. People know Verizon, but if you don't know GTE, so her and my uncle both like worked there my whole life, and
Mhm.
they had cell phones, like the big ones they used to carry in the car, like had a zip.
Yeah.
Like yeah,
Yep.
I'm aging, but so I knew what HR was, but I didn't know the impact of that.
Mhm.
And my major in college was communications, and I knew that I loved people. And
Mhm.
so as I started exploring, talking to my professors, two areas they told me was like working at a school, being the first person that welcomed kids and children
Mhm.
to schools,
Mhm.
or managing a hotel. So again, all that is people related. And what I found, my mentor Britt Griffin told me to walk around with a notebook for like 30 days and write down the things that fueled me. And what I
Mm.
realized, the things that fueled me was people and the conversations I was having that
Mhm.
HR allowed me to have. So
Mhm.
instead of getting wrapped up in titles, majority of my career, I focused on the work that was going to be done in those roles. And I think that is one of the biggest things that helped me navigate my career is that
Mhm.
I focused more on the work that helped me thrive and they gave me energy versus like chasing titles and
Yeah.
accolades in that way.
Yeah.
And so that allowed me to really stay in this space. I've been able to pivot into different areas of HR,
Mhm.
and I've been able to pivot into different industries as well.
Mhm.
And one of the things I always strive to do is find things that align with my goals and align with my actual core values.
Yep.
And so as being interviewed, that is what I'm looking for in an employer. So for me, I
Mhm.
think the biggest thing that allowed me was when my mentor told me to walk around with that notebook, to really think about what mattered to me, then think about titles so that
Mhm.
I can describe what I'm looking for and what that looks like, and then seeing how different roles may align with that.
So let me tell you something. I swear you were in the room last week when I was presenting at the Women in Business Retreat because this is like literally what we talked about. It's
It
insane.
goes
No,
back to alignment.
I
We both
mean
are here
that's
for a reason.
I
I was not in
mean
the room, y'all. I don't even know what she spoke about.
we literally talked about this because we talked about because okay, so say for instance we introduce ourselves, right?
Yes.
Hi, I'm Leslie. I work at Boyden. I do executive recruiting. I'm also doing podcasting and I do one-on-one coaching and I'm also an executive life coach. We define ourselves by our titles
Yes.
instead of our values and what we do like in our personal life. We that goes all out the window. And when we're thinking about jobs, we're like, okay, I want to be the next vice president. I want to be the CEO. And not saying that those
Yes.
aren't great things, but are
Yes.
you seriously walking and are you still walking in alignment with the purpose on your life?
Say
That
that.
right there,
Yes.
girl.
And that's alignment. And one of the things I tell people that in my intro, when I do my 30-second scoop, I say that
Yeah.
I am a mix between Michelle Obama meets Winnie the Pooh. And that's
Ooh, go in. I like that.
because I'm very direct, but I'm very big on inclusivity and I'm big on making sure that people feel included. And that goes back to my
Hmm.
upbringing of feeling excluded at one point in my childhood.
Mm,
So, anyone that knows me going back to elementary school, because I grew up here in Indy, Indy raised me, but I was born in Evanston. I've always been about making people feel included. And the blessing that God continues to do for me is allows my work to do that as well.
yeah, yeah. So, since you, first of all, the fact that you have done this for the majority of your career, like been in alignment and not necessarily chasing titles, I feel like you have a leg up on everyone, seriously. Because I mean, I remember in my 20s, I was like, I told my dad's CEO at the Yellow Pages, this just shows you how long ago this was. But he was like, what do you want to do when you grow up? I was like, I want your job. I want to be a CEO. I want to be a CEO of a major corporation.
Yeah.
Well, it's 2026 and that has totally changed because that is not in alignment with my
Where you
life
are
right now.
now,
Like
right?
I'm like, that takes too much time. So has alignment let me say it this way. How has staying in alignment professionally cost you and what has it given you? Like has it
Yes.
cost you anything or has it given you anything when you've actually like walked in alignment professionally?
I'll say that alignment has allowed me to grow in my career,
Hmm.
but don't get it twisted. I've had to go backwards to go forward at times in my career as well.
Hmm.
But I believe in what is the longevity.
Hmm.
So I tell this when I talk with my clients that sometimes if you're trying to pivot maybe into a new industry, you may not start at the same level that you're at. But
Right.
what is that organization's development plan and career pathways to get to you where you're going?
Mm,
And so, my first job out of college, my job got eliminated, and I should have saw the writing on the wall because they did 2 eliminations a year across
hmm.
the whole company, not just my location. And so when that happened for me, I went to work for the state of Indiana, and the job was very much a pay cut. So it was my second job out of
Hmm.
college,
Hmm.
but I was pursuing my master's at the time. And when I think about, although it was a pay cut, I was done 8 to 5. So
Mm.
sometimes more money can cost you hours. So does it really equate to you really making more money? Because people get wrapped up, and when I talk to my clients and my mentees and I coach them on this, I'm like, when you do the math, you want a job making, say you want a job and you're saying my goal is to get to 6 figures,
Mhm.
but you're working 60, 80 hours a week versus where you were working another job where you weren't getting as much, but you had that flexibility. So going back to what you said about where you are and what you desire, that alignment has evolved over time.
Right.
Because I, at one point, was like career, 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 career. What matters to me now is flexibility. I want balance is kind of a hard word to talk about, right? People have different thoughts on balance,
Mhm.
more of integration. Like I need an
Yeah.
organization that I can integrate,
Yeah.
like my son, you
Mhm.
know, great example, my new job that I just started, my leader asked me about my son and how he was adapting to the transition that we had to have this week.
Mm. Mhm.
That matters to me,
Mhm. Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
Pay me. Don't get me wrong.
Money.
But I what matters most to me is that piece of it. And I've been very blessed that every organization that I've worked with since 2020, when I launched my business, they've supported me in my business and they have given me the flexibility that I discussed early on in the
Yeah.
interviewing process.
Yeah. I commend your company. I mean, that's
Yeah.
amazing that they even thought, like the thought even came to their mind to ask you about how
Yeah.
he was
Yes.
transitioning
Yes.
with the new job. So when you think about modern
Yes.
HR, so what do you think are some of the biggest misconceptions people still have?
That HR wants to fire you. That's still a thing, right? Um, and so it's interesting when I come into roles, and a lot of times I would be part of like a partnering with different departments. And
Hmm.
so they weren't used to HR being around like
Hmm.
that all the time and partnering. It was more so when things weren't right. And so when I would come around, at first it was like, no, I'm here to understand your business, understand your
Hmm.
needs, help you cultivate the culture that your employees can thrive in. And so, what
Right.
I have found is that some people still have that misperception because of maybe others' experiences. I
Hmm.
think also HR, sometimes people are like, well, what does HR even do? And there's so much. We really are the rock of the organization advocating for the employees. And so I think often that misperception is that HR is not a safe space,
Yeah.
can be a thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. I have been in that situation, and
yes,
I've heard from others who have been
yes,
in the situations where it's like, well, HR is not in it for me. They're in it
yeah.
for the organization. Like they could care
Yeah.
less about you. Like,
And we're over here working, advocating, and thinking of ways to make it more flexible and more
mhm,
realistic for the lives that people live now.
mhm,
The organization that I'm at now, one of the things that attracted me to them was that they really created an environment that people need to thrive in after COVID,
yeah,
because COVID taught us that people can work from home. But if
mhm,
people are going to go from with that flexibility that they have, you have to cultivate an environment that allows them to feel that way, where
mhm,
it's not, well, it feels like everyone has a seat at the table.
mhm.
And what I mean by that is no one has an office in my space. There's 6 floors.
Oh
No one
wow.
has an office, not even the CEO.
Mhm,
It's
mhm,
open space concept. And so when you think about that, those are what things that people need now in order to thrive in different environments.
mhm.
Um, I think some of the other misperceptions is that um, HR doesn't always like HR is not, they don't look at, they're not really looking at the skills that are needed. They're looking
Mhm,
at what the team is telling them, which is opposite. HR
mhm.
is striving to challenge the team to see, did these skills 10 years ago still apply now? Do we need these skills still for the team? And that's one of the things that a lot of HR business partners, a lot of HR leaders are doing with partnering with the business. That's
Mhm,
more of the modern relationship with HR and the
mhm,
business is we're partnering, but still keeping at the forefront what is going to be best for the employees.
mm. So speaking in reference to like what's best for the employees.
Yes.
So let's talk about like retention of talent.
Oh, the
Yeah.
biggest that is top 3 biggest challenges that companies are facing right now.
So tell us the top three before we go there. What are the
So,
top three?
I'm gonna tell you out of the top 5, retention, right?
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Um, attraction,
Mm.
and then also one of the other ones is, like culture. A lot of people are
Oh,
trying to figure out culture now with the way that we are the state of the country, the
right.
state that we live in the state of
Yep.
Indiana.
Yep.
So it's impacting a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
As we
Mm-hmm.
know, people have left the workforce. We've had that silent workforce. We've had a lot of the number of Black women that have lost jobs in the last year is one of the highest it's ever been.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of factors that are impacting employers. And what I will tell you is that I am seeing more CEOs and leaders that are really caring and trying to figure out what they need to do to retain talent. So you're right, that is a top concern.
Mm-hmm. And I feel like I mean, you touched on culture. So I'm also a
Yes.
recruiter, right? And so I
Yes.
feel like culture is talked about with every single candidate that I interview.
Yes.
Like
Yes.
everyone wants to know like what's the culture? Like what's
Culture.
happening? Like why is this position vacant? Like those are like core common questions that come up all the time. And so is there something that leaders need to be doing or are they not doing something when it comes to retaining and developing top talent? Like where are these people going? What are they looking for?
I was just having a conversation with someone the other day. I think one of the opportunities is that sometimes people are put in leadership roles, but haven't given
Mhm.
the tools to truly lead others.
Mm,
So,
yeah.
I've had clients that have left organizations and positions
Mhm.
because of leadership. And so sometimes we put the top salesperson, the smartest person in a role to lead others because they're the top at their job, but they
Mhm.
may not be the best at leading others. That is a
Mhm.
gift. That is a
Mhm.
skill that
Mhm.
requires coaching. And so I think one of the areas, like I said, I was just talking to someone about this, is we were talking about leadership training that should be ongoing to help leaders understand and coaching them on how do you coach your team? How do you provide your team with feedback? And how are you cultivating a culture that allows each person on your team to thrive? Because
Yeah,
everyone doesn't need the same thing.
you're right. You're right.
And so, how do you keep that in mind as you are getting new talent and having talent, right?
Mhm.
So, I think when it comes to retention, it does fall on the organization to make
Mhm.
sure they're setting those up in leadership to be
Mhm.
successful. And if
Mhm.
someone is not best to lead others, that's okay. They still can have a role in the organization.
Absolutely.
I
Absolutely.
think one of the things I have seen this for decades that people are put in seats and they're not prepared to lead others. And then it's like, well, they've lost 6 people on your team. When the retention's that high, there's a disconnect there. And people don't always tell it in the exit interview. And so how are you making sure that you are doing that? And so some organizations implement feedback. So not like during
Mhm.
performance reviews, they may do a half of the year and then the end of the year. But not only is that like that leader evaluating their employee, the employee
Mhm.
also is providing upward feedback to that leader as well.
Mhm. Now, is that a service that you provide through the HR guru to
I do
like?
not offer that service.
No, okay.
Right. That's not a service I offer, but I do know, if someone is interested in that, as a thing for their organization, I do have a couple of people that I can refer to help with
Okay.
you do that. Yes.
Yeah. Because I find that I'm hearing a lot of that, right? Like
Yes.
why is the boss so toxic? Why are people leaving? It's like
Yes.
a big exit. And
Yep.
so that is the product. Normally, it's a product of the hiring or the manager versus like
Yes.
the organization.
Yes. And so there's
So
a difference, right? Like that's
right.
why I always tell people when I'm coaching my clients on the interviewing process, asking
Hmm.
them questions to also get to things that normally they may not get to. Like
Right.
if I make a mistake, what happens?
Hmm. Hmm.
You know, like some companies are like, we want you to take risks. So mistakes are welcomed here. But like,
Hmm.
if this happens, what does that look like? What does my first 30 days look like? What
Yeah.
does success look like in this role?
Yeah. Yep. So when you built the HR Guru, were you trying to solve like one big problem, or were they
Yes.
a variety of problems, or like
What led to me creating HR Guru, in other words, yes. So I
like
was
what drove you to do this? Like
what
what do
drove,
we
yeah,
do?
what drove me to do this? So I launched my business in 2020. And the reason for that is because I got invited in 2019 to speak at a conference in Vegas. It was a retail
Hmm.
conference. And this was going to be 9,000 people attending this conference in Vegas at Mandalay Bay. So if you've heard of Mandalay Bay, it's a big conference center. So I got invited to come speak at this conference because at the time I was working for a retailer, but I was the most junior person on the roster. There
Wow.
was like Skim CEO. It was like all these, and the goal was to have women only. They wanted to show that there are women in retail that are leading.
Mhm.
So my hairstylist, shout out to India, showed us Spalon. She keeps the bob bobbing as well as giving wisdom. She said the best thing she gave me advice was don't think, just move.
Mm,
And so I created a website. My website I did on my own. I hired Brandon to take my photos. So I got some lifestyle photos done with him. And then I literally talked to my mentors and asked them, what are services you think I could offer that would not interfere with my 9 to 5? And
mhm,
so what I recognize is I've been doing LinkedIn and resumes and coaching people on interviewing
mhm.
since BlackBerry phones. Okay. So
BlackBerry. That's
it's all
funny.
right if y'all don't know, just Google it. You'll be like, oh,
It's
I've
all
seen
good.
that before.
That's good.
So BlackBerry phones. And so I recognize that I've been able to help people, but now I have demonstrated that I am an expert in this area. And so
Mhm.
those are mainly the services I offer that does not interfere with the work that I do by day. And it allows me to really walk in my passion. I was just telling you earlier, in the last month, 5 of my clients have landed job opportunities.
What do they do? This, whatever.
8, clock it.
Hey, yes.
Um, and I landed a job opportunity, so part of that in LinkedIn played a major role in that. So my last 3 jobs, LinkedIn played a role in it in some capacity. So I
Hmm.
always tell people that that was what led to me. And so I realized that was one of the issues. Did not know in 2020 that so many people were going to be impacted by their
Hmm.
job elimination and
Hmm.
that my work was going to matter even more.
Yeah.
And so that is what led to me launching HR Guru. I really love what I do because I'm able to help people see themselves and be able to speak to their experience in a way that they forget and that they don't even realize it's not on their resume. And then I also help some people that just want to work on their brand and figure out how do they build themselves as an expert on LinkedIn in their
Hmm.
category that they're in. Because I tell people you want to stay ready so you don't have to get ready. My cousin Kim
I
says
just
it
said
all
that
the
the
time.
other day. Yes.
And that's like for real, like seriously, when the opportunity came up for Elanco, if I didn't have my resume and my
Hmm.
LinkedIn together,
Hmm.
and me, because it was like literally had a conversation on Thursday. Oh, you need to apply by Friday because the role's about to close. So it's like,
Hmm. Hmm.
yeah,
So I like what I think you said it was India who said,
India, yes.
don't think, just move.
Just move.
Don't
And that
think,
has
just
been
move.
what I do now. Like with anything, like I'm like, don't think, just move because we'll get in our head. And I'm
Hmm.
a recovered perfectionist, but now I strive for excellence. And so I'm like, I can't get in my head about this, or it'll
Hmm.
never get there.
So what do you tell people that are in kind of that shifting moment? So
Yes,
they're like, I know there's something more. I know
yes,
I'm supposed to be doing something else. I need to be walking more in my purpose. I would like to
yes.
be more in alignment with what I know I'm supposed to be doing. However, I don't necessarily have the experience. However, my confidence, oh gosh, it's been diminished. Oh gosh, this, oh gosh, that. Like,
The imposter,
what
all
do you,
that, like the
all
imposter,
of it?
right? All of the
Yeah.
imposter. So one of the things I think that is sometimes we spend a lot in the things we don't do well instead of focusing on the things we do really well. And
Hmm.
so, going back to one of the things I always tell people, you want to start with writing down your core values.
Mm,
Thinking about what are your core values. One thing that I know for sure is that we do evolve as people, but
yeah.
like say you have 6 core values, 2 of them are probably going to be reign true forever. Like there's 2
Hmm.
that will always stay with you
Hmm.
and guide you in everything you do. So, being inclusive started for me in 4th grade. and has been part of me forever. Didn't know that was going to include the work that I would do by day, but that is something that stuck with me. So when you think about your core values and then thinking about the things that you enjoy in your role and the things that you want to
Mhm.
do, that allows you to kind of really spend some time with that. Because sometimes people be like, I'm just not happy. I'm just about to go apply for everything. And then they
Mhm.
don't hear back. And it's like, because you're applying for everything. You haven't aligned what you truly want
Mhm. Mhm.
and really thinking about that and spending time with that. And then we have great resources called AI and using AI and saying, AI, these are the things that I'm passionate about. Here's my resume. What are some career paths or
Mhm.
roles that I should consider based
Mhm.
off of this information? And then
Mhm.
again, AI is not the end all be all. It's a great thought partner and resource.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
then looking to see what they give you.
Mhm.
And then say there's something on there that you really want that's not there. Say, I really desire the prompts, going back to the prompts. I really desire a role in tech. What are some things I can be doing starting tomorrow that would
Mhm.
help me gain the skills I need to get there?
Mhm. Mhm. So, piggybacking off the AI,
Yes.
so why do you think so many professionals are struggling with visibility even when they're highly capable? And then how can AI kind of help with that visibility?
Yes. Because what's not seen, people don't know.
They have no
So
idea.
yeah, if you don't people don't see it, they don't know, like, right?
Yeah.
So you may have all these amazing skills or this expertise that people just aren't aware of. So one of the things I tell people is that LinkedIn is an underutilized tool. And what you can do is also demonstrate that by sharing some of your knowledge in your industry or
Mhm.
say your leadership pointers from Kristen. So
Mhm.
I do posts almost every day,
Mhm.
but
But it's
that's
good stuff though. It's
yes,
good
but
stuff. That's content.
but it has to make sense. So I meet my clients where they're at. So just because I post every day, again, I go back to I've been on it since BlackBerry. You don't have to do that. I have a friend, she
Mhm.
posts once a quarter to recap what, because again, we complete projects a quarter, you make a
Mhm.
complete school a quarter,
Mhm.
recap that quarter. I attended these events, I participated in these things. Here are 5 takeaways that I had from that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so what you're demonstrating is that this is what I'm doing. Here are some of the skills that I have, and here are
Mhm.
some of the things I'm doing to continue to learn. Because what I
Mhm.
know for sure, because this has happened to me, my posting led to someone being like, "How we're looking for that position in my job. Hey, Kristen, here's the recruiter firm that we're working with. I think you would be a good fit for this role. I'll let you two take it from here."
Mhm. Mhm. So what is I feel like it's all going back to imposter syndrome. I
Yes.
really do. So what's one strategy you'd recommend for someone trying to stand out in a
Mm,
crowded industry
mm.
or a
That's
crowded space online?
So I always tell people that we are in information overload.
Mhm.
I still get people that ask me, do you do resumes? And I've been doing them since 2020. Again, going
Mhm.
back, what's not seen, people don't know, right?
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
so when you share your experience through networking, right?
Mhm.
That's one of the things that will always be important. If people
Mhm.
ask me, how did I land the job that I have now? Networking was a key piece of that.
Mhm. Mhm.
So going back to what you asked, the networking piece. The other thing is sorry, repeat the question one more time. I kind of
That's
started going.
okay. I'm just thinking about
Yeah.
how some professionals they struggle with visibility.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
even
within the
when they're
organization that
highly
they're working
capable.
with or just in general?
Just in general. Just
Okay.
in general.
Yeah.
Yep.
So one of the things that I know has helped me and that I've seen help clients when I've given them this wisdom is relationships.
Mm,
So hundreds of people are applying for jobs right now. We know that there are people that had job eliminations. And so one of the things that I recommend people do is networking. So if you
mhm,
see someone that has similar thoughts, leadership, or has a job that you aspire to, you can send them a LinkedIn allows you to send messages and interact with people that maybe you never would.
mhm,
Great example. There's a woman that was in HR. I called her my Beyonce of HR. Okay. So I sent her a connection message. I asked her to connect with me. And in my message, I said, "Hi, I really have admired you from afar. I've seen what you've been able to do in the HR space. Do you have 15 minutes? I would love to hear more about your experience." People love to talk about themselves.
Mhm. They do.
They
They
do.
do.
And 15 minutes versus a 30 minutes or an hour, people can break that out of their day.
Yeah.
And so when you ask them for that time, that allows you to, again, the networking piece, going back to visibility. Your
Mhm.
network is your net worth. So the more people you network with on a regular basis, even if you're saying like, okay, once a month, I want to network with two people I don't know, or two people that I know that I want to know better,
Mhm.
virtually, coffee. Again, your network is your net worth. People can bring your names up in room when they can build with you.
That's
If you
right.
are in an organization and you're trying to figure out how do I build relationships there, one thing that I do in the organization is try to find two people that I can connect with. For me, I try to find the highest level Black woman in the organization,
Mm.
because I'm very interested to learn more about them.
Mhm.
And one of my mentors from 2 jobs ago is still my mentor to this day. And she
Mhm.
has now evolved and now she lives her best life by volunteering, and just giving back to the community. Love that for her. And then I try to find someone completely opposite of me, more introverted, and
Mm.
has been in the organization for a while, that I can spend time with to understand what they've been able to see, and really someone totally opposite of me so then I can grow and then I can help them grow as well. So internally figuring out people, and that's why I always say 15 minutes with someone, because you don't know if this person's a good fit or not.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
that allows you to figure out if you want to deepen this relationship,
Yep.
and allows them to figure out if they have the capacity to do it with you as well.
I love that. I feel like so many times we are looking for like mentors or sponsors, people that are more like us. But to
Yes.
actually form a relationship with someone who is totally opposite, I don't know many people that do that.
Yes, because we have
I
and I
really don't.
think because I realize I'm actually attracted to introverts in terms of, like, my one of my best friends introvert, but one of them's extrovert, but I think because I'm able to learn from them, and I have a
Mhm.
mindset of learning from people, so I think that's what
Mhm.
kind of helps me do that,
Mhm.
and I always try to find someone that's, like, in a completely different department. Like,
Right.
I don't want any connection to what I do. Our connection is the organization we work with.
Right. Right.
And I have found success in that. I learn things, I get a different perspective, and
Mhm.
also, especially my work in inclusion, equity, diversity, and accessibility, I wanna think from other lenses,
Mhm.
because
Mhm.
my lived experiences are not everyone's lived
Right.
experiences, and the
Right.
more we do that, we'll realize we have more in common.
Mhm. So how do we as professionals like stay relevant in like the next
Yeah,
5 to 10 years, especially when you have like AI is here, DEI is here, but not here. Whole nother conversation.
yes,
But you know what I'm saying. So
yes,
like we have all these things that I feel like we're in a season of um things evolving and things
yes,
changing. So
yes.
what do we need to do as professionals to stay relevant? I mean,
So
come
one
on.
of the things I tell people right now, if you have not taken any type of AI course, you're going to be behind. There are job
Mhm.
descriptions now saying AI, like what that the people are asking in interviews, how have you used AI? Have you taken,
Mhm.
like I saw applications, have you used AI? What courses have you taken in AI? So one person I recommend that people follow is Alicia Little. She does free AI courses
Mhm.
all the time. I think she has one
Mhm.
going on right now that's free. Her and Neo do them, and they cover all bandits. So, like, even if you're not an entrepreneur, these things are relevant to what you're doing. So, I would say
Mhm.
that one of the things, if you haven't started learning and understanding AI in some capacity, it's something you're going to need to do.
Mhm.
Organizations are creating their own AI systems within their organizations. It's something that's needed. Another thing that I think is helpful to do is also subscribing to your local, like, newsletter, like newspaper, like IBJ for us here in Indy is a really good resource. So it's the Indianapolis Business Journal. They're
Yeah.
talking about what's going on, like, locally, nationally. They're giving different, like, pivoting. They talk about culture, they talk about industry, so those are ways to stay up to date.
Mhm.
And Alicia Little talked about this in your industry. You can set it up with AI to send an inbox to you once a week, once a month the latest information in your industry and cite its sources.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's good.
So, again, utilizing resources, I feel like we need to be more efficient and work smarter, not harder with
Mm-hmm.
things. And AI is not the end all be all. That's why I said cite sources. That's why I said you have to double check things. But
Mm-hmm.
if there are publications that are giving your industry knowledge, that's how you stay up to date. I just entered into the pet industry and life science industry. And that's something I'm going to have to learn and know. If
Mm-hmm.
your organization is hosting town halls, attend those town halls. Get on, if you have a publicly traded company, get on those earnings calls.
Mm-hmm.
You can learn so much.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So basically, you're saying we need to be vested. We need to
You
be
need to be invested.
invested,
Yeah, invested.
vested and
Yes,
invested.
invested. Yeah, both of them.
So I mean, you have this, you just got a new role. You've built HR Guru over the past, oh my gosh, I was gonna say 5 years, but it's 2026, 6 years.
No.
So what keeps you grounded when you've been building and leading and evolving all at the same time, and you have this philosophy of work-life integration as well. Like
Yes,
I
yes.
feel like balance is out the window.
Yeah,
So
balance.
what?
Something's gonna suffer at some
Yeah,
point. Like
yeah, yeah,
today,
yeah.
I mean, right now, like I worked all day and then I had this. So
Mm-hmm.
my mommy wasn't at the level that mommy wanted to be. I was
Yeah.
intentional and had 15 minutes with my son and just us, no distractions,
Mm-hmm.
talking about the day and everything. But again, this wasn't an ideal day of how I like to mommy,
Right.
right? But it's not an everyday thing.
Yeah.
But for me, keeping grounded, there's a couple of things that help me stay grounded.
Mm-hmm.
I have a tribe of amazing friends. I tell people I'm a girl's girl, and my friends are unmatched. And I'm grateful and thankful. And I have different sets of friends from different seasons of my life, and I'm grateful for that. I also am big on connecting with mentorship and networking. Those things have truly allowed me, I wouldn't be who I am today. I mean, literally last year, one of my mentors said, "You will be working at a global company. That's your next move." I'm at a
And yet
global
here we
company.
are.
She spoke over my life. I said, "Sharon, you spoke it."
Mhm.
And so that helps me. And I think one of my biggest motivations is that I want to leave this world better than where when I came into it
Mhm.
for my
Mhm.
son. Like he is my biggest motivation. And so when things get tough or things get challenging, I do think about like how is this going to shape it for the future generation?
Mhm.
Because they're going to be taking care of us. They're going to be making decisions on what we can do with.
That part.
So I want to pour all into them. And then also, I always am big on growing and learning. I just completed
Yeah.
my Six Sigma green belt this
Yeah.
year. Thank
Congratulations.
you. Hardest thing I've ever done in my
Yeah,
life.
I have no desire. Enjoy.
Girl,
Congratulations.
stretched me on a way that I didn't know I was stretchable. I tell Joy Mason, I did it through Indy,
Yep.
Six Sigma Indy with Joy Mason. But I will say that that allowed me to grow in a way
Mhm.
that I needed. And so I always say,
Yeah.
always take the gift of learning and gift of growing. And that allows me to stay grounded.
Yeah.
And also, first of all, first and almost, always is God. I seek him in everything I do. He guides me, he directs me, he moves me when I'm supposed to move. He will move
Mhm.
me even if I don't move. Okay.
Girl, that's called redirection and a detour.
Redirection. You know how many doors
Woo.
he didn't close? I'm like, I
Mm.
thought that job was for me. He's like, daughter, did I say that? And
Mhm.
then every time greater comes and better comes. So I
Yeah.
want to encourage you that in seasons when it's challenging, especially the job market can seem like people aren't getting hired. I just shared that 5 of my clients got jobs recently. One of them, it took them 6 months. So I want to encourage you to keep networking, keep sharing your expertise and the things that you are striving to do, and
Mhm.
know that you have a purpose that is needed and you have a skill set that is needed. The job I'm at now, the CEO said to me, to the whole our new hire orientation class, he said, "We didn't just choose you, you chose us, and thank you
That's
for
so good.
choosing us." I
Mhm.
said, I'm like over here like I'm
You
a
in the
cry.
right place, honey.
When I say God,
You are
I'm
in the
thank
right
you,
place.
Lord. Thank you. And I'm sending that vibes your way. So if you're on your job search and need any resources, please connect with me. I'm more than happy to share what I can and discuss.
Yeah. So tell us Tell us how people can get in touch with you and just kind of reiterate the services that you provide with
Yes.
through HR Guru.
Yes, so you can connect with me at kristenlampkin.com. You can see all things about me, reviews, and learn some of that. And the services I offer right now are resume enhancement and reviews, LinkedIn services, as well as interviewing and negotiation. So those are the services that I do offer. And if there are other services that you need, I have a wonderful tribe community that I created with my good sis, Jalen Fisher. And actually, today's her
Oh,
birthday. Happy
happy birthday,
birthday,
Jalen. I
Jalen.
know Jalen. She's adorable. I love her.
Yes. And so we have a community called Black in HR Indy. And so we have a community where we're always bringing and uplifting. But if you are needing any of those services, also, I have an Instagram page where I'm always sharing LinkedIn, career advice, resume advice, HR Guru LLC on Instagram. And follow me, connect with me on LinkedIn. I'm always sharing wisdom there. And again, your network is your net worth. And I am so grateful, Leslie, for this
I'm
conversation.
grateful for you. I feel like I could talk to you all day. And it's so interesting. I mean, this is aside from like the conversation today. There are
Yes.
so many nuggets and things that you said that I just really, it's like stirring up in my soul. But then there's other things that you say, and I'm like, I say that all the time. I say that all the time.
The
I say
alignment.
it all
Well,
the
we
time.
said that, right? When you
We
were like, I don't know
did.
if you know me. I'm like, yes, I know who you are.
I'm like, there are so many things that you've said, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, this is scary. I feel like I'm talking to myself. So,
Listen, well, I'm
girl.
grateful for you, and you are truly walking in your purpose, and it's so exciting to see the amazing things you're doing. And as you pour into us, I hope we can continue to pour into you and uplift you in what you're doing.
Well, thank you. And I thank you so much to our audience. Just some of the comments that they've said. Of course, congratulations to you for completing your Six Sigma.
Thank you.
They also, Chandra Seaton, she said, don't be afraid of AI, lean all the way in. And then our
Yes,
good girlfriend, Arian,
yes.
she went ahead and put your website in there for the people. So thank you so much,
Go
girl.
back to tribe. That is tribe,
That's
okay?
it. That's
That is
it.
tribe.
I love
Listen.
it. I love it. I love it. Well, I am so humbled and grateful that you have joined me today. It's been such a grounded and such a powerful conversation. And to everyone out there, like, don't think, just move. I love that. Don't think, just
Shout
move.
out to India Gary. Show the salon if you need, any hair needs, she'll get you together.
We're here to just promote all the people out there.
Listen, bring all the folks out, okay?
Well, thank you to everyone for joining us on the Coach's Kitchen. I hope today reminded you that your career and your calling and your evolution, they don't have to compete. They can grow
Yes.
together, integrating in
Yes.
alignment.
Yes.
And a huge thank you to you, Kristen, for sharing your insight, your perspective, your honesty, your joy. I just feel like you just have a wonderful spirit about you.
Oh, thank
But
you.
oh, absolutely. I just really love how you just talked about what it means to build with intention. So make sure you connect with Kristen on LinkedIn and to all the other social mediums. And we got to get Kristen out here so she can go spend some more time with her son. But learn more about her work in HR strategy, leadership, talent development. She's building, y'all. She's building at the intersection of people, purpose, and performance. And if this episode spoke anything to you, like, subscribe, share it with a woman who's navigating her next level and pivoting. So stay grounded, stay growing, and keep building a career that actually fits who you are becoming. So I will see you next time, and thanks